You know who you sound like now, KR? Now you sound
Who?
like when white guys say, "Yeah, I love black people. I have a black neighbor." No one, you don't need to get defensive about it. It's a joke.
I'm not defensive about it.
Okay, then
Okay.
let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah. Okay.
Marriage. What's in it for me?
Who's saying this?
The dude is saying.
Okay.
The dude
I can
is
tell
saying.
him without knowing the story, but you tell the
What can
story.
you tell him?
No, tell the story first, because otherwise we were gonna spend too much time on me ranting about certain things.
All right.
It
So,
depends on the woman you're marrying. Let's start there. But let's see what he has to say.
okay. So the title of this this Reddit is as follows. Am I wrong for asking my girlfriend, they're both 32 by the way, to
Hmm.
break down how marriage would benefit? Me and my girlfriend have been together for 4 years. At the beginning of our relationship, I told her that marriage wasn't in the cards for me as I don't see how it would benefit me in any way. She seemed to understand and accept this.
Oh, she's reneging. Or she's
For, s-
reneging. Which one is it?
for some reason, or no, for some background, I'm a software engineer, STEM,
For some reason. I know the reason. Continue.
at a pretty big hedge fund, so I'm living fairly comfortable. My
Of course.
girlfriend works as a potter. She doesn't bring in much income, but she loves it, and it makes me happy to see her working a job she loves.
Hmm.
However, it's no secret that if we married and then divorced, I would be royally if you seek a me, as Brittany said. It's Brittany Itch Base. Last week was our anniversary, and she seemed a little disappointed the next morning. When I asked her why, she explained that we'd been together for a while and she was hoping I would propose. When I asked her why she thought I would do that when I made my feelings about marriage known, she said that marriage still isn't a quote requirement, yeah, for her, but it is part of her, and she hoped that I would love her enough to change my mind. See what she did there?
Take a lighter and gas. Put them together and you get what you get. A gaslight.
Yeah, that was clear, I think. I didn't yeah, I didn't want to let this fester and affect our relationship, so I sat us both down at the kitchen table and asked her, then and there, how marriage would benefit. She went on about things like show of commitment, but I countered saying that the act of being together for 4 years is itself a show of commitment. She also mentioned security, and I asked her security for who? Because the way I see it, I feel more secure being unmarried since it would allow for a clean break, no division of assets, no alimony, no courts, etc. Her idea of security was security for her, seeing things like it would make it harder for us to love each other.
What?
No, it makes it harder for me to leave her, but if anything, it gives her incentive to leave me since at any time she could walk away with half of everything I earned during the marriage. Another point she brought up was kids. She said she wants security in the event we have kids. To be clear, we also decided at the beginning of our relationship, neither of us need to have kids. If it happens, It happens, but we're not actively trying. I explained why that mattered, since I would be an active father regardless of whether we split in the future. And she planned on going back to work immediately after maternity leave, so it wouldn't even really heavily impact her career. And before anyone brings it up, we have cleaners to handle most home tasks. The only core, no, the only chore, and he puts it in quotation marks. Why? Let's see. We're really responsible for is cooking, which we split. If we had a baby, I would hire a full-time nanny when she returned to work. He did make a few good points about medical power of attorney and tax cuts. But I can give her medical power of attorney through other legal means, and getting married wouldn't really affect how I'm taxed anyway, not even to justify the risk of marriage. At the end of the conversation, when I had made it clear there weren't really any good reasons for me to get married, she seemed like she understood, but I can tell that it's still bothering her. Also, to add, we don't live somewhere that recognizes common law.
Oh, ooh, that's something that I wanted to remark first of all, because you have to keep in mind that they're 4 years together. I don't know if they're living together for 4 years or whether they're not living together. That's going to be a very important part, because otherwise, that's something you always have to take into account when you're living together. I think in some states, it's if you're living more than 10 years together, she's going to count as a wife. So you're screwed anyway.
Yeah.
It's
And he
to
has
break
another
up
edit at the end, because they probably reacted seeing things about prenups in the comments, so he reacted to that as well in a later edit. He said, "I've seen this come up a lot, so just thought I'd add it here. Prenups are not the impenetrable shield a lot of you think it is. The fact is, a prenup that gives me the same protections as simply not being married in the first place would never stand up in court. What judges deem are unfair prenups are thrown out all the time.
This man is Coach Gang. I'm pretty sure he's Coach Gang.
Best prenup is to simply not get married."
He's definitely Coach Gang. I can hear it in the way he talks. He's Coach Gang. It can't be I cannot say anything else than he's Coach Gang.
So that means that he's black.
No, he watches CGA.
I know. But anyway,
there are white guys that also watch Coach Gang.
you know who you sound like now, KaiR? Now you sound like when white guys say, "Yeah, I love black people. I have a black neighbor." No one, you don't need to get defensive about it. It's a joke.
I'm not defensive about it.
Okay then.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah. Don't move. No. Anyway, hey, I think he made. He made his points are clear, man. The thing is this, right? He has made her life easier. She doesn't have to clean. I do think the thing is this, right? The more you, let's call it, buy services, you have the means to buy services like a cleaner, a nanny, a cook. The higher the stakes will be for the woman to, what is the added value for the marriage? A lot of times, and this is an interesting angle to those things, right? A lot of people marry because of they want to go a partnership, so they can pay the rent together 50-50. But when they break up, none of them can pay any rent, so that's why they stay together. They become dependent on each other. a lot of people masquerade dependency as a partnership or a marriage. So you have to be very careful. There is a thin line between the two, whether you can stand on both feet, both of you can stand on your feet or not. It becomes a bit harder for anyone, and it's the other way around as well, right? Just don't get me wrong, it happens also. This is a question a woman can ask a man as well. If she has her financial part together, what do you bring to the table? It becomes harder because then you have to have enough understanding of needs of the other gender. There are only two, in order to help them in whatever they want to, where they want to go in life. Your partner or your girlfriend or whoever, or your boyfriend.